In this lesson, we are going to be learning about CSS formatting. There are a lot of properties to format CSS, and we will be looking at a few widely used and basic examples. So first, we have color. You already have an idea how this works. So the color property specifies the color of the text. You can use a color name or hexadecimal values and RBG. You can read more about the hexadecimal and the RBG type on w3schools.com's website. Next, we have the font family. This specifies the font for an element. When writing the font family property, make sure you add more than one font name in order to avoid unexpected behaviors. If the computer, for instance, doesn't have the particular text available, it will try the next one. Next, let's look at font size. You can use numerical values in pixels or ems to change font size. The default value for M is 16 pixels. You choose pixels when you need pixel accuracy. To use M, the formula for doing this is M equal to the pixel size divided by 16, and the results give you the M value. So this means 20 pixels will be the same as 1.25 M. We will be using pixels in this tutorial throughout. Next, we have the font style. As the name suggests, you can choose to make your text italic or any other style. And then we have font weight. This controls the boldness or thickness of the text. You can also use numerical values from 100 to 900. Now let us quickly look at an example of these properties and then move on to our next tutorial. Back in the text editor, let's clean up these examples. And now let's have only one p tag. So target the p tag type, and then we have already looked at color. So let's check out the font family. So we have a font family of, let's say, cursive. Save it and refresh in the browser, and then we have our nice looking text type change to cursive. So if this computer doesn't have cursive, and let's say we are choosing Arial as our main text type, let's use this example that Visual Studio Code gives us. So this tells the browser if Arial isn't available, then try Helvetica, and if Helvetica isn't available, finally try sans serif. So let us save this. So save the HTML and then refresh, and you can see it is changed to Arial. Now for instance, if I misspell this and saved it and refresh, you can see it still works. Cool. And now it has changed back to our normal text. Okay. And then we have the font size, which we have already looked at. So let's try the font style, and let's give it a font style of italic. Save this and refresh to see our text italicized. Okay, now let's look at the font weight and let's make it bold. So save this and refresh that one too, and our text just got bold. Okay, let's move on to the next lesson. In this tutorial, we are going to be learning about the CSS box model. The box model theory means that all HTML elements can be considered as boxes. The box model represents the design and layout of the website. It consists of width and height, margins, borders, padding, and the actual content. The properties work in the order top, right, bottom, and left, also known as clockwise direction. This is the pictorial view of the box model. We have the content in the middle, the padding, the border, the margin, and then the top, right, bottom, and left directions. So the width and the height. An element's content has two dimensions. A height and the width specifies the width and height of the content area. So the width is from the left to right, while the height is from top to bottom. Next, we have the padding. The padding specifies the amount of space between the content area and the border. Padding is like the space between a picture and the frame surrounding it. Next, we have the border. A border is a line that surrounds an element, like a frame around a painting. It specifies the thickness and style of the border surrounding the content area and the padding. You can modify the corners of an element's border box with the border radius property. Then we have the margin. The margin refers to the space directly outside of the box. It specifies the amount of space between the border and the outside edge of the element. The margin property also lets you center content. In order to do this, you write margin with the value 0 auto. The 0 sets the top and bottom margins to 0 pixels. The auto value instructs the browser to adjust the left and right margins until the element is centered within its containing element. Now that we have that explained in theory, let us see how this works in the browser. So back in the text editor, let's add another p tag and generate a lorem text. Save this, open it up, and we have our second lorem text showing. Okay, now since the box model theory states that all HTML elements are boxes, that means this p tag is a box too. So in order to see this, let's add a background color to it. And let's make it red. Save this and refresh the browser, and the two paragraphs all change into a red box, which means that this theory is correct. let's try with the HR tag too, this HR line, so that we can really confirm it. So targeting the HR, let's add a padding of 10 pixels and save it. And yeah, it really is true, all HTML elements are boxes. So clean this up. Now we add the width, so let's give it a width of 100 pixels. Refresh it, and it affected the two boxes because I was targeting all paragraph. So let me just give this a class of 1, and this a class of 2. And now in the style sheet, let me clean this up and write .1 to target the 1 class, and also .2 for the 2 class. So saving this, okay, perfect. Let's give the second box a background color of add a misspelling. So background color of green. Save this. So we gave the one a width of 100 pixels. So that means if we change it to 500 pixels, it will increase in width of 500. So from left to right, we have our 500 pixels. Okay, now let's give the second box a height of also 70 pixels. Save this and refresh, and you can see it added an height of 70 pixels. So the whole of this box height is 70 pixels. You can change it to 200, and we have it over 200 height tall. Okay, the next property we will look at is the margin. Okay, the next property we will look at is the border. So adding a border of the first value which goes here is the size of the border. So let's say 5 pixels solid, and refresh. It isn't showing up. Okay, I made a mistake here. Instead of semicolon, I write the colon. Instead of semicolon, I added a colon. So semicolon, and save this and refresh, and our border around the box appeared. So this border right here is 5 pixels. If we change this to 10 pixels, we have a 10 pixels thick border, and we can change this solid value to dotted to have a dotted kind of border. Cool, but let's use solid for now, and let's give this a color of violet. So save this and refresh, and we have a border changed to violet color. Okay, now let's look at the padding. And the padding is the space in the content, whilst the margin gives space outside the content. So padding of 50 pixels will actually increase the content space. So within the content, we have the 50 pixels border. If you make it 100, it becomes more wider. And now the margin is the space outside of the box. So let's say we give this a margin of 50 pixels and refresh, and you can see it pushed this box away from the other one and also push it from this HR line. Let me give this 100 pixels for you to see it clearer. Save this, refresh, and you can see it pushed it back more. Okay,